Guys, welcome back here to the Ultimate B&M project here in Parkitect. If you're new to my channel, then welcome. Thanks to Silverette to his episode he did on my Busch Gardens Park. For those of you that have come over from him, welcome to the channel. If you're not very familiar with what I do, I basically build Parkitect rides and parks, and my thing that I do is realism. I like to stick to realism and try and make things very detailed and do great coasters and rides. And if you're new to this project that I'm doing right now, then I'll just do a very quick, brief summary on it. And I basically decided to build a B&M style roller coaster, and B&M is a manufacturer from Switzerland, and they build these big, smooth coasters. They're seen all over the world. And I wanted to take one of the coaster types from within the game, so I chose the Flawless coaster, and I wanted to try and make it as detailed and as realistic as I can, doing my own layout and all my own custom scenery and everything. It's not a recreation, but I did want to try and emulate what B&M do within the game with the game's limits. So that is basically the project. If you're here from the beginning, welcome back. Thanks for watching. Today I'm actually going to be doing the custom supports for this ride, and custom supports can be something that can be quite tedious to watch, I guess. So if you don't really like watching custom support work, please do let me know down below, because I would love to know what you guys like to watch, because if it is boring, I think it's quite tedious to watch personally, but then I will try and chop it out and cut it down to a smaller video, because today I am only going to do the loop and the dive loop, because I am quite embarrassed to admit it, but this loop took me 50 minutes to do, and I didn't plan on it taking that long, but I really just wanted it to be very realistic and very perfect, and I kept going back and forward between some reference photos that I always have, I look on Google and Google Earth, and really wanted to get this look like the real thing, and so that's why it took me so long. But yeah, I didn't want to show that whole footage, because watching a time lapse of 50 minutes worth of a custom supported loop is not really that entertaining, I guess. But if custom supports are something that you like to watch, then also do let me know down below, because then I will show you more of it. But yeah, so I've just done half the side of the loop there. I'm going to cheat a little bit and actually save that half as a blueprint and copy it to the other side. That still took me 50 minutes to do that. If I had built the other side by myself, then I think it would have taken me maybe 2 hours, I don't know. I've just laid some pieces there on the floor, and these are 2 little pieces of path cover and some flag toppers, and I use those to make these little tiny track connectors, and that's a way that I found out to do it. So I'm going to use those on every single support to connect it to the track. This is not really something that I normally do when I'm doing a park. If I build a big park like Busch Gardens, for example, I do all the support work, but I also kind of leave out some bolts and some things, because I don't think it's necessary in a large park like that, where the game struggles to play the park anyway because it's so large, and the more detail you put into a park, the worse it will run on my computer especially, but the worse it will just run in general. And so I, for like a custom footer like I'm doing here, I will generally only do 4 bolts, but for this I am doing a full 9 bolts on every single footer, placing them one by one manually. You can save them as a blueprint, but because footers don't very often line up every single time on the same part of the grid, you can't really use a blueprint for it. So I do have to do them, most of them, by myself. And then that's the same with the track connectors. I'm just doing that with the bolts, and that's not something I normally do either. Normally a grey square at the bottom of a support will do as a footer, but for this project, as I am doing the Ultimate B&M project, I want it to be the most realistic thing I've ever done in the game. So therefore I have to do these things, and I think personally the hard work and the time that it took to take me pays off in the end, because it does look quite realistic within the game's limitations and aesthetics. So yeah, so that is basically the loop almost done. I'm just gonna do that blueprint now and to put it onto the other side. I did actually wonder to myself when I started recording this video, how am I going to talk about custom supports for a whole 10 minutes? As you might know, my episodes are normally quite short. I could try to leave them around 10 minutes, just because I think more than that can be a bit boring sometimes. So I keep them nice and short, and just show you the absolute necessary parts of each build. I don't show you all the little boring bits in between, because that can get quite boring, I guess. So onto the dive loop. I'm going to be doing exactly the same thing really as I did with the vertical loop. This actually took me 45 minutes, so again, an embarrassing amount of time to custom support a game that doesn't really matter in life. But the dive loop was something I built using the track edit mod, and that is a mod from the Steam Workshop which allows you to do diagonal sloped pieces, and that's how I've achieved this dive loop. It can be quite a tricky mod to play with. It takes a bit of practice and patience to figure it all out, but using the Coaster Anarchy mod can actually achieve some great things with coasters as well, and that doesn't really need any sort of practice with it. I guess that's an easy mod to use, but the track edit mod to get the diagonal slopes can be a bit tricky, but I've used that to create this dive loop here. And I'm just placing down the supports and figuring out where they should go. And then again, like I did with the vertical loop, I will add footers at the bottom of each one, connect the top of the support to the track in a B&M style way. And yeah, so that's basically this episode today. I just wanted to show you these two bits and not whiz through the whole thing. I will go on in the next episode and show you the rest of the layout. I'm going to do the turnaround and the 0G roll, and that leads me into the mid-course brake run, where after that it does a few little twisty turns, couple corkscrews, you know, the standard thing. And I shall go ahead and custom support that at some point as well. When building custom supports, I find the easiest way to do it is to do it section at a time. I think if you're going to look at a whole coaster and support it, it can be quite overwhelming. So if you are thinking about custom supporting a coaster, but you think it's quite a daunting task to do, just take it section at a time. I started with the lift hill on this one, then I did the drop another day, came back another day and did the loop and the dive loop, and then I came back another day. So, you know, you get the idea. That's one way I like to do it. Another way is to do all the vertical beams first. I just go and place all the vertical poles around the whole coaster where they think they should go. Then later on I go back in and do all the different diagonals and slopes and all that kind of stuff. Then maybe on another day I'll go in and do all the footers. So it really depends, but do break it up. I break it up, and for me that makes the task of doing all this custom work a bit easier and seem like less work and more fun. I think the aim of this is to have fun, and if it becomes work, then I think it's not fun anymore. So I always have fun with the game. I love playing this game. I think it's great. It really just relaxes me, and I think it's just fulfilling that theme park enthusiast inside of me. So I really like it, and it's quite a simple game to play as well. There's not too many pieces and things to do. It's very, you know, like Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 was, just with a few extras on the side with things to make things a bit better than Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 personally. I did love that game. I love the Tycoon series, of course. I had 1, 2, all the add-on packs, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 as well. And I loved all the mods in Tycoon 3, which you could add in as well. And then obviously this is like another level for me from that isometric style game. I like the isometric style games as well. And if you are wondering why I'm not playing Planet Coaster, it's because I play on a MacBook, and I use my MacBook a lot for my work, and therefore that's why I have a MacBook. It's not a great gaming PC or computer, sorry. I would need a PC to do some heavy gaming like Planet Coaster, and that's why I don't play it. I would love to play it, but that's why I don't. So there we go. So if you are new here, you won't know, but I'm going to tell you now that at the end of my videos, I always leave a few screenshots of what I've done in the episode, just so you can see it. So I'll leave those with you now. Thanks for watching this episode. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for subscribing and clicking that thumb up button if you haven't already. Click it, and I'll see you all next time for another episode. Ciao, bye, stay safe. See ya.